Headlines is sponsored by Wonder Cement. एक perfect शुरुआत.
Coronavirus climbs to 813, exceeds 774 deaths recorded globally during 2002-2003 outbreak of SARS. Government fully alert in India. DGCA says foreigners who have been to China on or after January 15, 2020 not allowed to enter India. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitaraman says government wants to be in continuous engagement with traders and businessmen. During interactive session with trade and industry representatives on Budget 2020-21 in Kolkata. President Nath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi greet people on the occasion of Sant Guru Ravidas Jayanti. President Kovind says Sant Guru Ravidas was a prophet of peace, love, truth and social reawakening. In Under-19 World Cup trophy, Bangladesh win the toss and put India to bat first at Potchefstroom in South Africa. Sweden's Armand Duplantis breaks pole vault world record with jump of 20 feet 2.9 inches at meet in Torun in Poland. Duplantis surpasses by a centimeter the previous record set in 2014 by Renaud Levelleni of France.
Headlines was sponsored by Wonder Cement. एक perfect शुरुआत.
Hello and welcome to this edition of the news. I'm Rukmaina. Top story. The death toll from novel coronavirus has jumped to 813 today, overtaking global fatalities in the 2002-2003 SARS epidemic. Even as the World Health Organization has said, the outbreak appeared to be stabilizing. According to figures from the national health authorities, 89 more people are reported dead, most in Hubei, the province at the center of the outbreak. The toll is now higher than the 774 killed worldwide by SARS nearly 2 decades ago. The latest data came after the WHO said the last 4 days had seen some stabilizing in Hubei, but warned it was very early to make any predictions and the figures can still shoot up. Almost 37,200 people in China have now been infected by the new coronavirus, believed to have emerged late last year in a market that sold wild animals in Hubei's capital Wuhan before spreading across the nation and to other countries. The head of a World Health Organization-led international team investigating the coronavirus outbreak will leave for China next week. The team is likely to include experts from the US Centers for Disease Control. China had earlier agreed to allow WHO to form a team of experts to travel to China to learn about the virus and find solutions to the outbreak. Hong Kong has begun a mandatory 2-week quarantine for anyone arriving from mainland China. Visitors are being told to isolate themselves in hotel rooms or government-run centers, while residents are required to stay in their homes. Flouting the new rules will be punishable with a fine and a prison sentence. There have been 26 confirmed cases of the virus in Hong Kong. In France, 5 British nationals, including a child, have tested positive for coronavirus at a ski resort. In total, a group of 11 people, including the 5 who have tested positive, have been hospitalized and are being examined after sharing lodgings in late January with a British man believed to have contracted the virus in Singapore. Also, as a preventive measure, 2 schools near the ski resorts have been closed for this week and students will be monitored for signs of the virus. Meanwhile, French Prime Minister Edouard Philippe has called an emergency meeting to discuss next steps in fighting the virus. The government has decided to harden its travel warning for China, cautioning against all travel there unless in case of imperative need. Aviation regulator DGCA has suspended regular visa and e-visa of Chinese nationals residing anywhere and foreigners residing in China with immediate effect. The DGCA, in its circular to airlines on Saturday, reiterated that all visas issued to Chinese nationals before February 5th have been suspended with immediate effect. The statement further said foreigners who have been to China on or after January 15, 2020 are not allowed to enter India from any air, land or seaport, including Indo-Nepal, Indo-Bhutan, Indo-Bangladesh or Indo-Myanmar land borders. However, the DGCA clarified these visa restrictions will not apply to aircrew who may be Chinese nationals or other foreign nationalities coming from China. Among Indian airlines, Indigo and Air India have suspended all of their flights between the two countries. SpiceJet continues to fly on Delhi-Hong Kong route. On February 1st and 2nd, Air India conducted 2 special flights to Chinese city Wuhan, the epicenter of the outbreak, evacuating 645 Indians and 7 Maldivians. 3 Indians have tested positive for novel coronavirus so far. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitaraman today held an interactive session with traders and industry representatives on Budget 2020. Jan Jan Ka budget in Kolkata in West Bengal. During the interaction, trade and industry representatives asked questions on Budget 2020 and on initiatives on startups and technological innovations, among others. The Finance Minister said that Prime Minister's vision of New India will be successful with initiatives in entrepreneurial and digital India arena. The Finance Minister asserted on importance and utilization of technology for industry solutions, with government acting as a facilitator.
Prime Minister Modi is looking at building a new India, India which really gives space for the spirit of entrepreneurship which has been ingrained in our society, especially when Prime Minister's New India wants to benefit from the technologies available, wants to use technology more as an objective interface between what is otherwise delivered by the government and what is otherwise performed by the businesses. In other words, for government to be a facilitator, today we have the advantage of technology.
Sitharaman also said that the government will soon open ATMs in tea-growing areas in Assam. She said such ATMs will facilitate cash for workers in tea-growing areas.
Where bank branches, for reasons of viability, don't appear, we are fully willing to provide through the banks enough number of ATMs and working and kept up-to-date ATMs in tea-growing areas to benefit the workers. We will assure you, not taking months, within weeks, I will have banks set up ATMs wherever you want us to. And cash cannot be scarce for these workers who live on their wages.
And Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar today released the first look of a biopic on former President Bharat Ratna APJ Abdul Kalam in New Delhi. The INB minister, along with producer and director Madhur Bhandarkar and Hollywood producer and director Johnny Martin, released a poster of the film. On the occasion, Hollywood actor Muhammad Ali is playing Dr. Kalam's role in the movie. The movie is a co-production of Suvarna Pappu, managing director of a Hollywood production house, Hollywood director Jagdish Daneti, and Hollywood producer and director Johnny Martin.
I am very happy to release first look of poster on the biopic of APJ Abdul Kalam, the darling President of India, who was a great human being, and therefore it becomes a story of the humankind, of how a dedicated, intelligent and a disciplined person can come up and rise to the top. And therefore this is one good movie which is now coming up.
Ravidas Jayanti, the birth anniversary of Sant Ravidas, is being celebrated across the country today. Sant Ravidas was a 14th century saint and founder of the Bhakti movement in North India. President Ramnath Kovind paid rich tribute to Guru Ravidas, and in his message he said that Guru Ravidas gave the message of peace, harmony and fraternity. In a tweet, President Kovind said greetings and good wishes to all fellow citizens on Guru Ravidas Jayanti. Sant Guru Ravidas was a prophet of peace, love, truth and social reawakening. He was a champion of human values which are extremely relevant in the contemporary world. Let's follow the path shown by him. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also paid rich tribute to Guru Ravidas. In a tweet, PM Modi said Guru Ravidas emphasized on harmony and brotherhood for a positive change in the society which is still relevant today. The PM said his education based on justice, equality and service will continue to inspire people in every age. The Prime Minister also shared a video on his Twitter account.
संत रविदास जी के विचारों का विस्तार असीम है। उन्होंने जो दर्शन दिया है वही सही जीवन जीने का रास्ता, और वह भी बहुत सरल तरीके से दिखाता है। रविदास कहते हैं, ऐसा चाहूं राज में जहां मिले सबन को अन्न, छोट बड़ो सब सम बसे, रविदास रहे प्रसन्न। यानी गुरुजी ने ऐसे भारत की कल्पना की थी जहां बिना किसी भेदभाव के सबकी मूल आवश्यकताओं का ध्यान रखा जाए। उन्होंने कहा था, जाति जाति में जाति है, जो केतन के पार रविदास मनुष्य ना जुड़ सके जब तक जाति न जात। मतलब जाति केले के पत्तों की तरह है, जहां पत्तों के भीतर पत्ते होते हैं, जातियों में भी ढेर सारी जातियां हैं। ऐसे में जब तक जाति के नाम पर किसी से भेदभाव होगा, तब तक सभी मनुष्य एक दूसरे से पूरी तरह नहीं जुड़ पाएंगे।
संत रविदास जी ने अपने संदेशों के माध्यम से अपने पूरे जीवन काल में श्रम और श्रमिक की अहमियत को समझाने का प्रयास किया। संत रविदास जी के संदेशों ने हर तबके, हर वर्ग के लोगों को प्रभावित किया है। संत रविदास जी को नमन करता हूं।
BJP President JP Nadda and other senior leaders paid floral tributes to Sant Ravidas on his birth anniversary. BJP President said Sant Ravidas was a preacher of brotherhood and unity, and the work of constructing a temple dedicated to him will also commence soon.
उनकी रूहानी जो उपदेश थे वो एकता और भाईचारे के लिए जाने जाते हैं। उनकी जो लोकवाणी थी वो अद्भुत थी, जिसके माध्यम से उन्होंने समाज को जगाने का काम किया। संत गुरु रविदास जी के मंदिर का विषय काफ़ी चर्चा में आया, लेकिन भारत सरकार ने उसको बहुत अच्छे तरीके से सुलझाया है और अभी आने वाले समय में वहाँ भव्य गुरु रविदास जी का मंदिर बने, उसका काम चलेगा।
P. Parameshwaran, one of the senior most pracharaks of the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh and former leader of erstwhile Bharatiya Jan Sangh, passed away in the early hours today. He was 91. The founder director of the Bharatiya Vichara Kendram took his last breath while undergoing Ayurvedic treatment in Kerala's Palakkad district. Parameshwaran, who had worked with leaders like Deen Dayal Upadhyay, Atal Bihari Vajpayee and L.K. Advani during the Jan Sangh days, was honoured with Padma Vibhushan, the country's second highest civilian award in 2018, and Padma Shri in 2004. Born in 1927 in Mohamma and Alapura district, he joined the RSS during his student days. Fondly called Parameshwarji, Parameshwaran was a prolific writer, poet, researcher and widely respected RSS ideologue. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed his condolences on the demise of veteran RSS ideologue P. Parameswaran. In a tweet, PM Modi said Shri P. Parameswaran was a proud and dedicated son of Bharat Mata. His was a life devoted to India's cultural awakening, spiritual regeneration and serving the poorest of the poor. Parameswaran ji's thoughts were prolific and his writings were outstanding. He was indomitable. An institution builder, Parameswaran ji nurtured eminent institutions such as the Bharatiya Vichara Kendram, Vivekananda Kendra and others. I am fortunate to have interacted with him many times. He was a towering intellectual, anguished by his demise. Om Shanti. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will share his thoughts with the people in the country and abroad in his Mann Ki Baat radio program on the 23rd of this month. It will be the 62nd episode of the monthly radio program. PM Modi has invited people to share their ideas on topics he should address in the 62nd episode of Mann Ki Baat. People can dial 1-800-117800 to record their message and can write on the Namo app, open forum or on mygov.in. People can also give a missed call on 1922 or 1922 and follow the link received in SMS to directly give their suggestions. And in international news, the Thai soldier who killed at least 21 people and was holed up in a mall overnight was shot dead this morning by commandos, ending a near 17-hour ordeal which left dozens wounded and stunned the country. It was unclear how many people remained trapped inside Terminal 21 Mall in Korat, where the gunman held out through the night, armed with assault weapons stolen from his barracks. Volleys of gunfire rang out as the siege ran into dawn, hours after Thai security services stormed the ground floor and freed scores of stunned, terrified shoppers from a bloody rampage that the gunman, a junior army officer, identified had relayed via Facebook posts. Commandos from the elite Thai police units killed the gunman, a police spokesman said, after an operation involving hundreds of security personnel. A fleet of ambulances left the front of the complex and forensic police poured into the grim crime scene shortly before the gunman's death was confirmed. Turkey has sent hundreds of military vehicles into Syria's northwestern Idlib province after Syrian government forces took control of a strategic town close to the provincial capital. The fresh Turkish deployment came as Turkish and Russian delegations met in Ankara to discuss steps to de-escalate tensions in Idlib. This is the last major enclave of opposition to President Bashar al-Assad. Turkish president has threatened to repel the Russian-backed Syrian forces unless they withdraw from the region by the end of the month. Despite the buildup of Turkish troops, Syrian government forces have pressed their advances. Syrian Observatory for Human Rights has said that around 430 Turkish military vehicles crossed into Idlib, while 1 battalion of soldiers have been sent to each of the 12 observation posts in Syria. New South Wales, an East Coast state where nearly a third of Australia's population lives, saw some areas drenched by the heaviest rain in almost 20 years by Saturday, with severe weather and flash flood warnings. There were still more than 35 active fires in New South Wales on Saturday, half of them yet to be contained, but officials said the downpour, which is expected to continue into next week, may dampen them. Speaking at a new conference, New South Wales Emergency Services Minister David Elliott has warned the public to be vigilant in the flood conditions, with 13 flood rescue operations launched over 2 days. After months of destructive wildfires that razed millions of hectares of land, Australia has been hit in recent weeks by wild weather that has brought heavy downpours, hailstorms and heat waves. The UK-based OneWeb company has sent 34 satellites into orbit on a single Soyuz rocket from Baikonur port in Kazakhstan to provide global broadband internet. The Soyuz rocket will orbit for a few hours before the separation of satellites takes place at an altitude of approximately 450 kilometers. The mission is expected to last for 3 hours and 45 minutes. However, this is the 50th Soyuz mission conducted by Arianespace, as the company plans to perform 19 more medium lift Soyuz from 3 spaceports by 2021. The famous Taiwan Lantern Festival opened in Taichung on Saturday. Putting aside worries about coronavirus, tourists and locals attended the annual festival with great enthusiasm. 10 rounds of 150 lanterns were released into the sky by locals and tourists. The government, however, urged event goers to take precautions against the deadly coronavirus outbreak. Visitors had their temperatures taken and wore face masks to prevent the spread of the disease. Taiwan has reported only 16 cases of coronavirus compared with more than 31,000 in China. And in sports, world silver medalist Armand Duplantis realized a lifetime dream when he broke the pole vault world record on Saturday by soaring 6.17 meters on his second attempt at a World Athletics Indoor Tour meeting in Torun in Poland. American-born Swede Duplantis broke Frenchman Renaud Lavillani's record of 6.16 meters set in February 2014 in Donetsk in Ukraine. He broke the record on his 6th jump of the competition, having narrowly failed to clear the same height in Dusseldorf on Tuesday when he brushed the bar on his way down. And in the Under-19 World Cup Championship, Bangladesh won the toss and put India to bat first in the final at Potchefstroom in South Africa. Bangladesh is playing their maiden Under-19 World Cup final, having knocked out host South Africa in the quarterfinals and defeated New Zealand in the semi-finals. Meanwhile, the Priyam Garglet side have a perfect record in the tournament so far, having beaten the likes of Australia and Pakistan in the knockout stages to get to the final. Having already won the title a record 4 times, including the last edition in 2018, they will be looking to extend their domination at the under-19 level. India were 5 for no loss when reports last came in. An Olympic quota secured, Mehraj Ahmed Khan is gung-ho about Tokyo 2020 Games as he practices at Dr. Karni Singh shooting range. The 44-year-old missed out on the finals in Rio after losing in a shoot-off. The pain has not fully disappeared, but a newfound determination has taken its place. Our correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya spoke to the skeet shooter regarding his preparations. This is what he has to say.
Joining me is Mehraj Ahmed Khan, who is going to represent India in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. And let's talk to him and find out his preparations for the Games. Mehraj, first and foremost, you are in this field for a long time. In 2003, you made your first international appearance. From then to now, what is the status of shooting that has undergone changes, and how do you see the game progressing in this 2020 Olympics?
The qualification in the Olympic Games have been improved day by day, and last time I remember when I was qualified for the Rio Olympic Games was only 12 shooters.
Yeah. By this time, we have this time 15 shooters.
Yes, and in Tokyo Games we have now 15 qualification as far, because still we have 1 or 2 more chances for the world ranking system. So I think it's a very good platform for our Indian athletes, Indian shooters especially, that we are working very hard, we are working professionally. All the support from SAI, Ministry of Sports, our Federation, National Rifle Association, and all these 3, you can say, foundations, I will like to say, the ministry, the SAI, the NRAI, they are working day and night to improve in our shooting system, basically. And it's been improved a lot. When you talk about Olympic Games, some kind of improvement you need. I don't know what improvement I need now, because I just hold the world record in 125 out of 125 in the last national championship. But when you're shooting like this scores, you just need to focus target by target. My goal is always this, that when you go in the competition, your goal is always one target at a time.
So just to point out that, 2016, then before the Rio Olympics, you qualified in the same place in Rio World Championship. everybody talked about the fact that, Mehrwaz is the guy who will get us that one goal. I mean, skeet is something, we do not have that much of say.
But the skeet is always on a back foot, in the shooting fraternity, and always considered as a weaker sport.
Especially in India.
No, in India, yes, I'm talking about India especially, and they are thinking that, okay, we won the quota place for the Rio Olympic Games, but the chances are not very high, because Olympics is like everybody want, every team, every country send their best athletes, and they are well prepared. I was also very well prepared, and we have worked very hard for the Rio Olympic Games.
Was that a heartbroken thing that, you were level at one point of time with the other shooters, and the guy who managed to, you moved out, but the guy actually moved out from that, went on to win the gold medal?
Yeah, because Gabriele Rossetti from Italy, me and him was on the same score. He and me both shot 121, and unfortunately I missed the shoot-off, because shoot-off is very crucial at that point. Like the same shoot-off I won in Doha to get this Tokyo Olympic card, and I was unfortunate. The wind factor came into my time, and I missed the target. And that is like a sudden death. You miss, you out. And I was very close, and believe me, if I will go again into the shoot-off, this time I'm more strong and more focused, because I'm working very hard on the shoot-offs. I won the Doha shoot-off, which is a very crucial one. And this time I'm not alone. We have one more shooter. So Angad Bajwa is also there. So we are two, and we are going to represent our country, and I hope that we will get one medal at least for ski.
On your personal front, you got married. That kind of changed a lot of scenario. Now you're more balanced in your professional personal life.
After marriage, I'm more relaxed, because I'm not looking at the home front, because last time when I was not married, so I have to look my home affairs also. I used to live alone, so sometimes I have to cook my own food, sometimes I have to clean my home. So these front, I'm not away, and I think more stability in my life, you can say. More stability in my life, and she's a very supportive wife, and she's always support me in my endeavor, in my sport. And I hope, inshallah, that we will go together in Tokyo and win gold medal for India. Why not?
Thank you. Appreciate your time. Inshallah, Mehrwaz is confident that he's going to, the way he has prepared for the Tokyo Games, he's confident of winning that elusive medal that he's so desperately looking forward to. With cameraman Jaishankar, this is Tapush Bhattacharya, DD News, Delhi.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of the news. News and updates continue on DD News and DD India. Stay tuned. Namaskar.